Hey there, can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Mm, Nice and
Good.
loud.
Okay, well, let's see if I can turn this down a little bit.
No, you're
Um,
you're fine. You sound fine.
okay, okay. You just come through pretty clear. I am using a backup computer today because last week the video card, the super whiz bangy video gaming card that I had on my desktop for many years decided to retire. I'm not sure what happened. I wasn't doing anything funny. I certainly wasn't gaming, but the screen went dark, and after poking around and poking around and poking around, and thought maybe something was wrong in the configuration. Nah. Finally came to the conclusion it was a dead card. I've never, knock wood, I've never had a video card die on me before. As a matter of fact, I typically use the one on the motherboard.
Yeah.
But this is a machine that I built actually a decade ago. And at the time it was a combination that was supposed to give me a very hot gaming computer. Well, it worked pretty well for a lot of years, but apparently I'm assuming something failed. I assumed it enough that I ordered another card, not nearly as hot,
All right.
but more current technology. And it came in yesterday, and I haven't yet installed it because I've got to install it and configure it and go through a whole rigmarole, and I've been busy on other projects. So I got this old backup computer. And when I started setting up Zoom this morning, I was getting some funny results. Like, for example, I don't have any video background.
Right.
Well, other than the green screen. And looking at the specs, this is more ancient than most computers I work with. It's only got 4 gigs of RAM in it. And I think that's probably the thing that is
It's not doing well for the for rendering the backgrounds and whatever.
yeah, well, I think that what happens is you have a certain minimum both RAM capacity and speed, and this, put it in perspective, is 4 gigs of DDR2. So the fact that it's showing anything at all, I think, is something of a miracle. So hi, Jen, how you doing?
Well, I got a similar story, only different. Last week, Patty made me buy a new computer. I am
Really?
I am on this new computer now. So I spent the past week or so setting it up. This is actually the first time that I've actually used it for anything. It is a AMD Ryzen.
Cool.
Look at all them cores. There are 12 freaking cores in this thing.
Yeah.
It is it's only got 8 gigs of RAM in it, but it's a
What is it, DDR4?
It has to be.
I don't think they sell anything with it with anything but DDR4 now.
Yeah, it has to be, because it is when I bought it, it was running Windows 11. So, I mean, it's running pretty much the latest and greatest. It's got a 512 gig SSD in it, and it boots to the Linux desktop in 2 seconds. I
You're
mean,
not gonna try to beat Steve's story with the $30 thing, are you?
probably not.
Oh, okay.
This
I
was
suspect.
this is definitely not a $30 computer.
Steve
So-
beat that one to death. I don't know, we can't do that.
Yeah.
No, this
Well,
definitely was not a $30 computer. In fact, I have I've already like we've spent a lot of money. We've spent a lot of money.
So now so I'm assuming it's DDR4 and you're running Linux Mint what
21.
21 something like that.
The latest Linux Mint. I'm still running Mate because I just happen to like Mate or Mate or however you want to say that.
Yeah, but it's the bottom line is it is the latest Linux Mint.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm running here on the desktops that I have going at this point in time. I'm running Ubuntu. My desktop in my workstation in Milford is Linux Mint. But I found some interesting features of Linux Mint that bug me. For instance, I use Nmap a lot. And the Linux Mint, the Nmap on the Linux Mint that I'm using in Milford does not show me, all it shows is strictly the IP address when I scan my whole network. It doesn't show me the MAC address. And I've looked at the configuration 14 ways of Sunday. I can't get it to show the MAC address at all. And it doesn't show me, and because it doesn't show me the MAC address, it also doesn't tell me what kind of a device it is. So I can't tell if it's a camera or, I mean, I pretty well memorized them all, but I can't tell if it's a camera or some other kind of a device. So it really annoyed me. I thought maybe I had an old version of Nmap and I fooled with it and fooled with it. It gets to the point, you know, you invest so many hours in a project, that at some point you just say, life is too short. Okay. So
So Nmap needs to be run as root to show MAC addresses.
I was running it as root.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know. I got nothing.
Okay. I mean, any suggestions, I'm happy, but I was running it as root and, you know, it didn't show the MAC address. And that really is something that I find very, very useful. So anyway,
I haven't used Ubuntu in a very long time. The last time I used it was right before they changed to the Unity desktop. And the one thing that I noticed going from Ubuntu to Linux Mint, and it was the only real big change that really kind of bugged me, was in Sympathetic. Ubuntu let you apply all the changes that were ready and do it through Sympathetic, and Ubuntu doesn't let you do that. You have to use their update manager to do it, or the command line to do it.
They've already ditched Unity, so I mean, Unity only lasted for a couple of.
Yeah, but I don't plan on going back to Ubuntu now. I'm perfectly happy and I have gotten used to all the weird little quirks of Mint, and I like Mint. Mint's
Well, you know, it's whatever you're comfortable with. Years ago, I used to use Fedora, which is, of course, is a Red Hat as opposed to a Debian descendant. And I liked it a lot,
yeah.
but that was 2007, 2008, someplace along in there. And I got on this because I had a client that was in love with Ubuntu. And so it was a matter of survival. I mean, they were paying my rent. So I figured, okay, I can live with that.
Of course, I had heard about and known about Linux for a long, long time, but it was Ubuntu that was the very first Linux I actually got to install and be usable on one of my machines. So of course I stuck with them until they made huge changes that just were just not what I wanted.
My
But-
first Linux was Knopex. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Knopex, but it was primarily a live CD. It wasn't, I don't think most people ever install it. So I started there, and then somehow or another I segued over into Fedora, and then I ran CentOS on some of my servers, and I never ran Red Hat, real live Red Hat, and that was primarily because I could never get anybody to pay for it. So
Well, that was the other thing with Ubuntu, right? When they first started, you could just say, send me a CD. And I mean, I had stacks of them, passed them out. Just,
it's like
Here's an
AOL,
yeah,
like
it was.
like AOL.
I said, they sent me stickers and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I had the shop. So I just said, send me a dealer pack. And they sent me like 70 CDs to set out free for the taking, which was pretty awesome. And I had stickers and all kinds of stuff. So
Was that you
So-
popping the Nmap up there?
Yeah, so my laptop is uh Mint. I don't know what version. Pretty recent. That's nmap -p capital PN and sudo nmap capital PN. And it shows the MAC address on the second one when I run it with sudo.
So it's Nmap dash capital PN or Nmap just capital PN?
Nmap
da-
space dash capital P lowercase n,
Okay.
and then the IP or range that you want to pull. I think all of the dash capital P's give MAC address. Actually, maybe, hold on a second. Maybe all of sudo does.
Well, I typically run -SN because
I put in nothing, just nmap and an IP address, and it gives me back the MAC. What do you normally run?
Well, if I don't want it to spit out all of the ports for each IP address, I run -s lowercase n. And at some point, I thought that the capital PN, capital P lowercase n, was deprecated, but
No, it could be. they've deprecated a huge number of things, but they still all work.
Okay, well, I will try that out. Soon as I get my desktop back rebuilt again.
And this was sudo with -sn, but it still gives back the Mac. With nothing, it gives back the Mac. As
Okay.
long as you run it with sudo.
Okay, I will definitely try that out.
I ran away from Ubuntu for pretty much the same reason Leroy did. I hated that interface.
Oh, you
Unity.
talking about Unity?
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, well, a lot of other people did too. That's the reason they ditched Unity, I'm sure.
that's why Mint
Because-
became.
yep. That's why
Oh,
Mint
is that
became-
right? That was the genesis of Mint then, is
Yep.
the Unity desktop.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a definite certified POS, so to speak.
Mint went with forking the original GNOME project, and that's how Mate came. And then Mint came because of that. So it was way more familiar or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm on the new computer, Steve, the 12 core,
Okay.
the insanely fast machine.
So you didn't build this yourself, basically.
Oh, no.
you bought-
This
you-
is a Dell. It's a Dell all-in-one, 23-inch monitor. Blah blah blah.
Oh, you got the whole package then.
Yeah. But I installed Mint 21, which, you know, that's the latest. And weird little quirky things, like the themes didn't work. So I had to go in and install the theme package. And even then they didn't quite work right. So I went back to like an old Debian theme package, and that seems to work. Yeah, I know. I
Did
kind
you,
of went, what?
did you copy over your home directory?
No, I didn't. I didn't copy everything, mainly because there was a lot of stuff in my original home directory that was just leftover garbage from stuff that I didn't use anymore.
Yeah.
So
I only
tried to
asked-
install the themes directly. I mean, it was just, you know, just a standard theme that should have worked, but it didn't work, which was just weird.
I only ask because by default, I always install a user called System Administrator that I do nothing for. I don't set a background. I don't change anything. So if I upgrade, I can always log in as that user. If mine is broken, and at least try to figure out why my profile is broken, because most of the time it's my profile. As long as you're copying downloads and documents, the big visible folders, you should be fine. If you copy the .configs and .rcs, then things get weird. But now I don't know. I haven't played with the newest Mint, I don't think.
So you don't install the hidden files, you install the
Well-
standard large uppercase files.
Well,
I tend to copy everything over, but put it in a subdirectory, and then
Ah.
copy over chunks out of the subdirectory into the home directory, and log out and log back in.
here's what I have found doing this many times. Some programs just do not like it if you copy the config files. They just absolutely
Right.
hate it. But other programs don't care. So you can copy, like, I use MU Commander, which is a desktop Midnight Commander clone for the desktop. And I copied its config file directly over, and everything was just exactly how I wanted it set up. So it didn't care. But here's the thing. If I would have started that software before I copied the config file, it wouldn't have worked. I had to copy the config file before I even started that software. So it's a
It
little
must-
tricky.
Must be generating some small hidden binary when you generate it.
So it's a little tricky. Like I copied the Zoom config files over and it didn't work. It hated that. So I had to let Zoom start back over again from scratch.
So
So-
you did a raw Zoom installation.
Yeah.
Okay. The
So-
screens are from periodically freezing on me. I'm wondering if that's because I have this old box with a limited memory and stuff.
Well, I am not seeing any freezes from anybody else. That
I'm just
doesn't
seeing-
necessarily mean anything, but
I'm just seeing them where it's like 4 or 5 seconds long and then starts up again. I think that's the limited RAM in this box.
Okay.
I will be so happy. One of the advantages of using an old box is you really appreciate what the current stuff is like.
well, I'll tell you, I have put up with the old machine being slow and draggy and, the mouse freezing and then deciding to go, and for a good 6 months, this machine, even when it decides to slow down a little bit, it is still way faster than that machine. So I'm like,
So where'd you get it?
Micro Center.
Okay.
Yeah. The one I got one from Steve, and that thing's fast too. And it's only a dual core.
Really?
It's a dual core with threading. So it shows up as 4 cores, but
Yeah.
it's fast. That thing, I was shocked by how fast that is given the age of that machine.
I was going to
It's the
say,
SSD.
Yeah.
are they still making dual cores at all?
I don't know.
No. Even
Celerons. Do they still have the Celeron?
so, I'm sitting here on this Maestro Evolve 3 or whatever, and it is a Intel Celeron N3450. I don't think there are any slower Celerons, and it's quad core,
Interesting.
4 gigs of RAM and a 64 gig SORTA drive.
Sorta drive?
It's effectively an SD card.
Ah.
It's
okay.
flash memory. Yeah, this thing. I just I'm blown away by this computer. 12 flipping cores. 12 flipping cores. I need more cores. Give me more cores.
At one point, I had more money than I knew what to do with, and I decided to build my server. It's a 32 core Threadripper.
Oh,
It's not bad.
Two multiple CPUs or
Nope. One massive Threadripper.
wow.
This is the first AMD product that I've owned in probably the last, I don't know, good probably 10 years.
Yeah.
And AMD is back. I love AMD. I love AMD.
I do too. I love AMD.
I was a little hesitant about it when I first read it, but you know, I talked to Steve a little bit and everything. I'm like, okay, give it a shot.
Well, I've got to build a new workstation. So, Steve, you said you had a configuration application that listed what played nicely together. I think I've
Oh,
got
yeah.
that,
PCpartpicker.com.
PC part, man, say that fast.
Hold on, let me bring it up. Might be,
PC.
it might be plural.
That's like, what's his name? Picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Peter Piper, yeah. That guy.
Yeah, Peter Piper. PC part or parts.
Part, singular.
No dashes. Part picker.
PCpartpicker.com. It's in the chat.
Okay. There we go.
Pick your part. Pick.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You can tell them I want this processor, and then it'll just give you a list of motherboards that'll work with it. And then it'll give you just a list of memory that works with that motherboard and that processor.
Yeah.
And it's pretty darn good about physical limitations. So when you decide to pick out a fan, it's pretty good at just getting a fan that will fit. And when you get to the case, it comes back and says, well, the fan you chose is too big for this case. You need a shorter fan or a bigger case. It's pretty impressive. Good site.
They've been around for a while, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that first tab when you go to the site, the PC Builder,
Yeah.
that's where you start.
Seems like I use this when we had the shop. We use this a lot to help decide what we were going to build.
Thank you very much. I will definitely
You can also have it, you can order the parts through them, I think, or it'll try to get everything through one vendor like Amazon or Newegg or Micro Center, whatever. But it goes out and it checks part prices with a whole bunch of folks. You can also walk into Micro Center and say, build me a machine, and they'll walk around and help you pick out parts. They enjoy doing that.
Well, they get a
Wow.
commission that way.
I don't know. Are they on commissions in Micro Center?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why they always want to put their little sticker on the thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't physically.
We lost
go
you a
along.
little.
Yeah, I rarely go into Micro Center, particularly since COVID. So
They don't bite. They're good folks.
They will I used to walk around in there carrying parts that I would pick out myself, and people would just walk up, hey, can I stick my sticker on that?
Yep.
Sure. Why not? I mean, you might as well get your 10% for for whatever. And then if you go up to the counter, there's a sticker that like the cashier will have that I don't know what that sticker is, but somebody gets a commission if
That's
nobody
the pool.
is it the pool.
Yep, if it goes in the pool, then everybody gets a chunk of the commission.
Okay.
Okay. So it's like shared tips.
Yep.
I
There
am
was one
building
fellow that, go ahead.
I'm building the most expensive computer ever. I am up to almost $30,000 so far.
Oh,
Dual
really?
Xeon?
Do what?
Dual Xeon?
It is a AMD Threadripper 3900 64
okay.
core. That is $8,400.
Yep.
I told him it was more than $30.
More than $30. I've got let's see, what would that be? That's 256. That's not 512. I've got more than 512 gigs of RAM. And and each stick of RAM that I've got is $4,000.
Damn.
Wow.
And the motherboard is $2,200. The
Okay.
motherboard so
Threadripper?
far has been the cheapest thing in the list.
This is going on your Christmas list, is it?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I don't think this is worth more than my mom's house, my dad's house. No, it's not quite that bad.
Is that the dual Threadripper motherboard?
It is a Zenith 2 Extreme Alpha something. All I did was go through and pick the most expensive thing that I could find. I didn't look at specs or anything. That's the most expensive one. That's the good one right there. The most expensive one.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
We have a machine at work that just does database, kind of like an old IBM. Oh shoot, the 400. Can't remember. Anyway, it's a Oracle /Sun T8-4. It claims to have 64,000 cores.
Holy cow.
And it has multiple things to make Java and the database run in hardware. It is quick. It's got all of our LDAP stuff on it for 200,000 employees.
Wow.
So is that worldwide employment at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
And they have 4 of these things total. One here in Milford, one in Wilsonville, Oregon, one in Germany, and one somewhere else. I don't know, probably Ireland.
I was going to say probably Asia, isn't it?
No. No, we don't have a lot in Asia.
Gee, surprise, surprise.
We have a lot in India. Actually, it might be in Pune. That's a pretty good sized data center. But the Pune data center is smaller than the one here in Cincinnati.
Is that a secure site?
Well, it was until they let me in.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is it like co-location where you walk in past the guys with the machine guns and so forth and so on?
We don't have machine guns, but we've got 3-foot thick concrete walls. And that's because of what SDRC used to do, which is why they made it the co-location. It takes 2 different IDs and a handprint to get into the server room.
So how close to the backbone are they?
Pretty close. Give me a second. I'm being called.
So where's your granddaughter, Leroy?
She is watching TV, being a good
Okay.
kid.
Okay, TV and food probably, right?
If she has food, she got it herself.
Oh, there's Vicente.
I gotta run.
Hey.
I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
All right,
Okay,
we'll
Steve.
we'll see you.
We'll
in a
see you,
minute.
Steve.
Drop by.
And how's Vicente?
Oh, great. Yard work.
More yard work, huh?
Tired, yeah.
Uh,
And still working with the ESP camera. ESP
Oh,
32.
cool.
ESP 32.
This is for your robot?
Well, I have an idea that I can explain, but I don't know. We are already began. I can explain what I am doing, but I don't know what's going on. We can wait for Steve a little bit talking. How's everything?
Fine here. We're freezing again.
Get your jacket on.
freezing in California.
Yeah.
$34,000. But the shipping's only $10.
Oh, really?
$34,000.
For here, the leaves are falling all around,
Yeah.
like rain. I will wait for a week before start cleaning because they are continuously falling.
So what are they, oaks or maples or what?
Maples, cherries, all kind of.
So you have a sweeper or do you rake them all?
What? This is what is a sweeper?
It's a device. Think of it like
for the lever.
like-
I know. I just use a blower around the house.
oh,
And
okay.
there are 2 guys that came every Monday to make the grass trimming.
Cut the grass.
Yeah, and they clean all the leaves also.
But they use a blower.
Blower, yes. They use a
You
blower.
use a mulching blade. You use a mulching blade. Hey, fertilize the yard.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you can only put so much mulch into the grass before you choke it out.
yeah.
Then you're aerated. You should aerate it anyway.
Well, if you have a sprinkler system, aerating is a pretty dodgy process.
Mhm.
You
Well,
end up replacing a lot of sprinkler heads.
They just blow the leaves away to the forest around, far from the grass, and that's it.
So you just blow the leaves into your neighbor's yard, right?
No. They are 5 acres away. So
He's like me, we live on a hill and the leaves will blow away if you just let them go. We live in the middle of 5 acres, so we got no neighbors that are gonna see any of our leaves.
they blow the leaves to the,
Yeah, the trees are starting to look a little bare there.
yeah.
I remember the old days, and this goes back quite a ways, where people still had great piles of leaves in the yard and then they'd burn them.
Okay.
I don't think that's been legal for about 30 years or so, but
In my last house, you blow all the leaves in front of the house. You make a big mountain, and every 2 weeks there is a truck from the city that pick up all the leaves for everyone.
so you had to blow them into the edge of the street, or what?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's what they do in Monroe also. They'll haul the leaves off for you.
So they use some kind of vacuum or something to pull them
Yeah.
up, or?
I think they're using a vacuum and a shredder combined, you know.
So they basically mulch them for you, or
Yeah,
mulch them, take them off and mulch them.
yeah. I think that they give away the mulch that they produce in some field near.
Well, we don't do much leaf raking here in Fremont, California, so.
Oh, this is too much. The good thing is that in 3 weeks, I think that all the leaves are gone. So everything looks clean.
So the maples dump theirs fairly fast, but if you have oak trees, they hang on for a long time.
Yeah.
Oak and hickories, I think hickories hang on for a while too. I remember as a kid, we basically raked everything, and that. This is you, Jim?
Yep, that's why, that's the wire free, and that's where my leaves are.
Oh, they just go there naturally, or you blow them there?
We live on the top of a hill. They just go there naturally. All I gotta do is stay out of the way. So last night, the deer took this guy down.
I am pushing the buttons of the kitchen and nothing happens. Barn path doesn't work. I am pushing the buttons with my mouse, but doesn't work.
Okay.
I think we had the monster from the great beyond take my camera down.
So what happened?
Here he is here.
What is that?
Oh my God.
Is that a cat?
It's a deer.
Looks like Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's what was a Sasquatch. Yeah.
So do they they do that accidentally or intentionally, or can you tell?
I've caught them before that one, you don't get to see it, but on the others, they'll come up and you'll see them snort at the camera. And one of the does actually would lick the camera. I put some Tabasco sauce on it this time, just in case. But I spent like 2 hours out there finding a good spot for connectivity and the sun and connectivity. And I found a spot, okay, just a little niche, and the camera got knocked off. It's magnetically held, so you can position it everywhere on a ball. It's real nice. And the deer knocked it, and I uploaded pictures this morning, and the camera was laying on the ground after all that work, finding the perfect shot. It really worked without it. I was surprised. Also, I found out if you don't want to put a camera near your access point, or put two cameras close to each other, they'll drown each other out. So I also found out if I drop the other connections to the wireless access point, the communication picks up wonderfully. It's amazing. So if you got a far reaching place, if you want to get to it, shut everything down in the neighborhood and it'll do much better.
Now, can you mount these on the side of a tree or something like that so the deer can't get to them?
Yeah, eventually I'll do that. I want to find the right sun spot. I'm in the woods there, so finding enough sun is difficult. But I'll find the right place and I'll mount the solar cell and the thing on the sun. And I love that magnetic ball mount. That's just nice. You can point it up, down, back. It doesn't care anymore.
So how do you fasten that magnetic ball? What is it fastened to?
Right now it's on
post?
the tripod.
Oh, okay.
But it's got a regular flat metal mounting place with 3 holes in it, and they got screw ins. They got anything you want, and it's got the 3/8 inch mount hole on it too. So whatever you want. I've got some you stick in the ground, looks like a pitchfork. You stick in the ground and then screw it in the back or whatever you want.
So if you electrify it, like an electric fence, that would discourage the deer, I would think.
Yeah, you get up high enough, the deer's going to leave it alone. They do. They'll snort at it. It looks like an eyeball, kind of. So they they want to know. As it's laying on the ground, I see a coon's tail go by too. Raccoon. Yeah.
Well, the raccoons are what got my bird feeders. Boy,
Oh yeah.
they love to just tear those apart.
Yeah.
I had one that was not a seed feeder, but was a suet feeder for the woodpeckers.
Yeah.
And boy, they took that sucker and disassembled it. Apparently they really liked that suet, because I found it laying over someplace that, they had obviously been playing with it quite a bit.
Oh yeah, they think I find them, drag them off in the woods with them. Yeah.
But they like the suet a lot better than they like the seed. The seed, they'd fiddle with the seed part of the bird feeder, but the suet, boy, they went after that in a big way.
Yeah. They like the black oil seed, sunflower seed too. If you give them that regular bird feed stuff, nobody likes that. Even the birds will turn their nose up at that.
I don't know, they, the birds in my yard all seem to like the seeds, and then they come up and use my deck for an outhouse and just literally whitewash the whole thing. And
Wow.
it was annoying to say the least.
Well, the hummingbirds are gone, so.
They've headed south already.
Yeah, we've got, right now, we've got caterpillar chrysalis. I got the camera on them. Gail loves that stuff. Watching those hatch out.
Well, now do they hatch now or in the spring?
They'll hatch now. Yeah, they'll hatch out. They're just so a length of time, so many days before they the caterpillars turn, and then like a week later or 2 weeks later, those have been out there a week and a half. Let's see, let me find my butterfly guy.
Now, do you buy those and put them out there, or they just happen naturally?
Gail has butterfly bushes, and she usually buys them, but she has seeds this year too.
Butterfly bushes, okay.
I'll show you one here in a second. I think that's it. No, that's not it. Kill that one. No, tree link is that one. Okay. And do that. And do that. And there are the two crystalists. There and there.
Now, these are naturally occurring or ones she bought?
No, these the butterflies like the flowers. That's a flower up there, and they will lay their eggs on this, and the caterpillars will come out, and the caterpillar comes up and hangs itself on a leaf like that, and it will turn inside out and turn into a chrysalis. And there's a chrysalis. A butterfly didn't. Our caterpillar was a caterpillar. That was a caterpillar. And there was another caterpillar on this vine running free. Gail can't find him now. But, they're pretty interesting, and watching them turn into butterflies is interesting too.
Now, do they attract birds at all? I mean, do the birds try to feed on them?
The birds can't eat those. They're poisonous to the birds.
Oh,
The caterpillars are poisonous. I'm sure the chrysalises are poisonous. That's the only reason we have butterflies, I guess. So yeah, Gail goes to a little place that provides those little plants, and she'll get a small plant and grow it in a pot. And she's had them for a few years, and now they have butterfly bushes too. We've got one in the front yard that's blocking a view of the highway, but she loves her butterflies.
well, they're pretty amazing animals or insects when you think about it. They're
Yeah, these are monarchs, and the monarchs, I think they made the endangered species list this year.
a lot of them haven't done well with various insecticides or various herbicides also.
Yeah. And we got a new network on Roku. It's called Local, and it's a Local View or something like that. It's free off Roku. Just say find a free streaming thing, and there it is, Local, and it has like 1,800 channels. They're killing me. It has a lot of the news channels for everywhere in the United States. It'll show you it's ABC, CBS. I know Baltimore, 2 different Baltimore stations have news, the CBS and ABC news channels.
This is free with Roku?
Yeah. Yeah, you got free streaming. You got, there are bunches of them now. You got Pluto, that free streaming, and oh, there's several of them. Yeah, you can spend $20 on a Roku HDMI out thing and plug it into your HDMI port on your TV and Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi, so away you go. And they hook you up to all these free streaming channels. And I'm
So
on
you say
Sling.
that's,
I'm on Sling through Roku also.
so this is like $10 a month, you say, or $20 a month?
Well, the Roku is $20 one time to buy the hardware. Now, you buy a router like me, you can spend $30 for one. You can spend $200 if you want for the big guys, but for a regular one, it's like $30, really.
Or you can get it, get Roku installed in your TV, or buy a Roku TV.
Yeah.
There is, if you like, I'm trying to find it. If you like weird old movies, I can't find the channel now. I'm going to have to turn on the TV. There's a couple of them, a couple of new streamers. There is, what is this called? I don't have my glasses. I can't see.
You can't see anything without your glasses, man.
Movieland.tv is
Oh my
one
God.
on Roku. That's got a lot of weird stuff that you don't see on any other streaming network. And then there's Freevee.
Yeah, Freevee, yeah.
FR.
I was telling them about that one. That one had
Yeah.
books we used to read.
Yeah, Freevee's pretty good. FREEVEE. But this Movie Land, they've got a lot of just bizarre stuff that you don't find anywhere else.
Yeah, and Roku has its own free channel too, and it's got tons of stuff, hundreds of channels.
So I found Ion Plus on the Roku channel. That is pretty good.
What kind of stuff does it have?
Well, what I was mostly interested in was like the detective stories. They do like big blocks of each day. You know, you get a different detective for 24 hours or 12 hours, and then they will switch to something else. But that's why I found it, was I was looking for some detective thing, and that popped up, and I'm like, okay.
So these are old TV series or what?
Some of them are, yes, mostly. So the one that I was watching, see, I think they're up to season 14, and they were playing season 1, so it was at least 13 years old, I guess. So the current, it's still a current show, but it wasn't the current season. It was an old season of it. So, but I thought that was pretty interesting because Ion is a pretty big channel, and then Ion Plus seemed like it did even more.
So what's the revenue model?
Basically they play commercials.
Oh, okay.
So It's more or less like over the air television. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the the biggest thing that I have noticed is like with over the air television, shows have definite spots where there's commercial breaks intended to go. And when they're streaming, they could put the commercials pretty much anywhere. So they could add more commercials, they could add less commercials, but they don't necessarily put the commercials where they were intended to go. So sometimes somebody will be in the middle of a sentence, they'll play a commercial, and then they'll come back to that sentence, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But
So it's an advertising model, it's a revenue model.
right,
Okay.
yeah.
Here's Zumo, whatever that is. These are all free ones. FilmRise. FilmRise you can get through Roku channel too. So it's getting crazy. There's Freebie. And there's a Roku channel. It's a free one. With
PBS Kids, what?
yeah, there you go. There's CBS Sports. Oh man, I'm gonna have to check that out. See if they have some of the games. That could be interesting. And there's Pluto. Pluto's got 1,000, and they got on demand too. Used to have on demand, and also Roku's got on demand movies too. There's Local Now, and they also have some sci-fi and horror stuff too.
Yep.
Everybody does. Tubi, never hadn't seen that one.
Tubi's pretty good.
Zumo, that was Zumo on Roku. The Zumo channel on Roku is Westerns. I don't know what this one is.
Zumo, I thought, wasn't that
And this, I'm just
Maybe not.
selected it and said load it, add a channel.
I think I
And
got
go to
I think I
channel.
had Zumo on there. Oh, nope, it's still on there.
Hallmark movies, and oh no, I gotta tell my sister about that. Oh, jeepers. Lead with Your Heart. That's a Hallmark.
What is that, a collection of chick flicks or what?
Hallmark is a lot of chick flicks. Some of them are not too bad, but you know, Lala Mamushi, my sister loves it. Live now from Fox, huh? That's probably news. Okay, so these guys, okay, here's horror, FilmRise horror, Curtains, and Dracula's next.
FilmRise has a sci-fi channel just dedicated to sci-fi too.
So
If you-
now I've got hundreds of channels to look at. There's Sacramento, whatever that is.
So state of California, state capital, California.
There's Dark Matter. See,
Dark
no,
Matter, that's a good show.
it's a network, so
Oh. Okay,
they got
well,
the
it's still a
Maybe
good
it's-
show.
they got the Johnny Carson network. Oh yeah. So just tons of stuff. There's Bloomberg Television, Cheddar News, USA Today, la la la. A lot of stuff out there.
Yep.
Yeah. I actually, got rid of Hulu. So now we are 100% free streaming. Whatever, if we can't find it, we don't want to watch it.
Well, you
If
can
it's
get- you can
If
get
it's not
most of-
free, we're not going to watch it.
You can get most of the cable TV shows that you would be interested in with Sling for $35 a month. So if you got Wi-Fi, we've got to get the T-Mobile internet, what I want.
Hulu was only $8 a month. So,
Yeah.
and I deemed that too expensive and I dropped it.
Yeah, but we watch Discovery, the government's Discovery and Bravo and things like that.
No.
That's why I sent those baby, I think there. Oh, here's Zumo Westerns. Okay, they have their Western station.
I mean, that must be ancient movies though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, most of them are. Here's Circle. Circle is another Western. I got Reba McEntire and Net, there's Tootsie's.
It depends on several things. Like I like old B flicks, old B movies. So they're almost perfect for streaming. Streaming is almost perfect for old B movies.
I was
There
going to
are
say, are they still making any Western movies at all?
They're making B movies that you and I don't see. And they're pretty good. I'm impressed with some of the B movies. And they're good enough to be first run. They're getting there. So the cheapo production companies are starting to pop up and produce some decent cheap flicks. So I'm optimistic.
So which mic is this?
It's the-
It's me. I'm trying to get my camera working.
It's the mic that's Mike.
Is the mic or is the camera?
Where's the camera? Where's the camera?
It's buried inside the laptop.
We've
There
got
we go.
Elvis Presley channel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
The
All
Elvis,
the old ladies would go gaga over then.
the Elvis channel.
Yeah. Yeah, they have the Elvis channel on the Roku.
There he is.
Jackpot.
Hi,
Oh,
you found
yeah.
the camera.
Yeah, it helps to read.
Don't read the book, man. Don't read the instructions, man.
You know, that's cheating.
We'll pull your man card. Man.
Yeah. It's like asking for directions.
Oh, I got a new 3D printer.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You don't have enough of them already?
never have too many 3D printers.
He's talking about one that works, I think.
This one's a SLA, so it's a bit different.
Very smooth.
Very, very smooth. Printed very, very nicely.
So is it slow or is it?
It is extremely slow. It is, I think this print took 4.5 hours, almost 5 hours to do.
Wow.
But compare it to, that came off of the filament. You can't really see it, but you know, there's lines there, there's a texture to it. And this feels like something that was molded and then, you know, the resin was poured into it or whatever. And the detail, like, can't really tell on the camera, but I can actually read what that says. That actually says something that I have never been able to read off of the back of that print.
Hmm.
It actually says 3D Benchy. And it's actually, you can actually see it. It's
That's interesting.
So is this
and
one of those liquid resin printers?
Yep. Yeah, it's a prints upside down. So it it's Vicente kept saying that it was
Is this resin is water based?
yeah,
It's easy
but
to
I think that, you know, you have to, I put this out in the sunlight for a good 3 or 4 hours, and I mean, it's solid. I don't think you could break that if you maybe with a hammer or something, but you're going to break anything with a hammer.
So the putting it out in the sunlight is a post process. You print it and then put it in the sunlight, or
UV cure.
It needs to be
Oh.
cured with UV light, and the only good UV light source I've got is sunlight. So, but here, on the, nope, wrong button. On the other side of that, that printed, that took 4 hours, 4 and some odd hours. But that one did turn out to be a little bit more brittle. So that one did break. But I think that broke because I had to print that with supports, and I used large supports to support it, which I think was the problem. You see all this little pitting in here? If I would have used smaller supports, I wouldn't have had so much pitting. And so when I broke the support off, I think I actually broke the thing, because I broke the support off before I cured it, because I wanted to make sure to get the supports off, if that makes sense.
what is that thing?
That is the Orville. That is that thing flying around.
Oh, okay.
So, a little bit, it's a little different than the other printer. Getting used to it. I printed the Benchy boat with no supports at all, and I think I was lucky that it actually stuck to the build plate the whole entire time. It's actually pretty heavy. It probably should have fallen off and fallen into the resin.
So this builds down from a build plate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
it when it's done here. Here, let me see here. You see that? That's hanging down from the build plate.
Oh, okay.
That's, and you see how thick those supports are?
Yeah.
Probably not real well. See how thick those supports are? I probably should have went with like a medium support, maybe a low support.
So now there's no fiber involved in this. This is basically a liquid.
It's a liquid. Could kind of see it right there. can kind of see the liquid. Yeah. But there's a little bit of a learning curve because they say that you need to use supports, and luckily, I think my very first print, I didn't know that I didn't know I was supposed to use supports, so I didn't use supports. Oops. And I think I got
Oh,
lucky.
You didn't cheat and read the
I
instructions.
did not read the instructions. It was when I was trying to print the ship and all the weird little curves and everything. I couldn't get it to lay flat on the build plate, obviously. So I was like, oh, got to use supports. And you're supposed to use supports with everything you print. Well, okay, whatever. The software is a little funky. It's the Linux version of the software is dental software, so it keeps wanting to default to making teeth and doing high density prints. I'm like, but I'm really impressed with it.
So was this a new buy or did you find a used one?
When I bought the new computer last Wednesday, I had a little bit of money left over from what I was allotted to spend, so I went ahead and picked up one of these SLA printers. I was allotted to spend so much money, and I was like, okay, maybe I will just go ahead and spend the rest of this. Yeah.
So how does the medium, how do you get that? Is it in little jars or little bottles or what?
Hang on. $500 water soluble resin gray, 0.5 kilograms. And
So is it actually a solution or a colloidal suspension?
no, it's kind of reminds me of paint, but it's not paint.
How much is this printer?
Can you hear it?
Okay.
It is this bottle was $22. There's about half of it left. I printed like 4 things.
Micro Center?
Micro Center. Yeah, I bought their brand. Their brand was a little bit cheaper. I didn't.
So
see
what's the volume, like 12 ounces or so?
it just says 0.5 kilograms. I don't.
Oh, okay. And it is water soluble, so some
So-
portion of that is water, basically.
So when you there's a lot more work, like cleanup work and whatever to do with resin printers. So basically you leave the print upside down for a while and let it drain off all the resin that it doesn't need, all the extra liquid. Then with the water soluble, you dump it into a bucket of water and let it sit in the water, and the water will clean off, whatever residues left. And then you get to throw that out into the sunlight or UV thing, curing station, if you're lucky enough to have one of those. So the
What
whole
is that?
process,
Just a box with a bunch of UV lights in it? or
yeah,
what?
yeah, I mean, it should be easy enough to make one of those. And a timer, there's a timer on them, but there's no real reason why the sun can't work unless you don't have sun. But 5-hour print time, another 45 minutes to an hour of just general cleanup, and then another couple hours out in the sun. So we're not talking like, it was a fast process at all. It's a multiple hour and multiple step. And then you have to, the build platform actually goes into the resin. So you've got to clean that up. So you got to get all the resin off of it, because if it cures, then you're going to end up having problems. So.
Well, will the excess then peel off of the build platform, or do you have to scrape it off somehow or another?
It came with 2 scrapers, one specifically for the build platform and one for the resin tray. The resin tray, this basically, it looks like a cell phone down inside of the printer, and it does a mask and masks out certain areas for the thing to cure. So the resin tray has a very, very thick, like what looks like a screen protector on it, so that the UV light can get through it and cure the resin. And it goes
So do you cure it as it's going, or you cure it after it's all built?
a little bit of both. So when you build the model, when it slices the model, it slices it in masks. So it'll mask out everything but like this outline. And then this would be the first layer or the second layer. And as it's building, here. Nope, I don't have the software installed on this new computer yet. I was going to show how it looked. As it's trying to build, the screen basically masks out everything else, and you get a little bit of UV light right there to cure that. But you have to let this thing sit and actually cure, because it's not really done. From the printer, it's not done. It's only partially done. You could even kind of sort of maybe see inside there. You see how it's kind of shiny. I think that's because the UV light didn't completely get inside of that. But it's dry now, so there's nothing I can do about it.
So does that mean that the part on the inside is not cured?
It's I mean, it's solid, but I don't know if it's completely 100%. Probably, maybe if I had some UV light that I could actually shine inside of it, I could get it to look like it's drier. Frankly, I'm just impressed that this worked as well as it worked. This is by far the best benchy boat I've ever printed.
So I got a question for Vicente.
Hi.
I set up, bought a projector,
Uh-huh.
and so far so good. If I hook a HDMI cable up to it, I can play, but I tried loading video onto a USB. It'll recognize that there is a USB. It'll recognize the directory, but then it says it can't play it.
MP3. What kind of file is?
Well, I tried AVI, I tried MP4, I tried QuickTime,
Nothing.
and
You have a micro SD card slot on it.
yes.
Try that. I use that for my Pumpkins movie. Yeah, with a micro USB, micro
Oh, no, I don't have a
SD
micro
card.
USB, but I got a micro USB that I also put into a adapter, and that didn't work. So then I just tried a thumb drive,
Okay. and
that didn't work. So I was wondering, and I have the drive formatted to FAT32. So I thought, well, maybe that's an issue. But I've been trying different formats, and nothing seems
maybe the format. Yeah.
to play.
Does the projector say what kind of codec it's looking for specifically?
No, it does not say.
Okay.
It just says there might be a codec error when I start Googling around, checking, see what it is. But I just got stuck. But I can play it Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. No, Wi-Fi. Yeah, it has to be on the same network. And I can get it to play that way, and I can play it off my phone and with the HDMI, but I thought it'd be nice to be able to just load them onto a drive and plug it in.
See, what is that codec? X254, 256? Jim would know.
H.264, H.265 should be. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Those are probably, that's probably the most common codec in use right now.
I have some PVRs that record, they're TV tuners with recorders in them. And they don't recommend using, it records out of a USB port, but they don't recognize using memory chips. They want you to use a drive. And right now I just plugged one into one of the PVRs and looks like it's recording on a USB. I think they have to be fast is one of the issues, or buffered or something.
Well, but if you're doing a playback, the device that's playing back has to support whatever video codec you're actually using. So I would try, one of the H.264 or 265 codecs, because that's That's probably one of the most common codecs right now.
So you're talking about using a player to play it back?
No, your machine actually, your projector is actually a player.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to play it back, or you need to record the video in a format that it understands.
Yeah. Now check in the book, it says it takes, it'll read AVI, MP4s, MKV, FLV, MPEG-1, MPEG-2. So I've been converting it to different formats and
But what codec are you using? And it doesn't say. And it doesn't say in the manual what codec to use.
yeah, and how would I determine what codec I'm saving them as?
Your rendering software, whatever software you're using to render it, when you
Yeah.
go to save it, there should be an option somewhere right there that will say, MP4, H265
Oh, okay.
or whatever. The last part of that is your codec part.
Okay. See, I was just using my Chromebook and going to an online site and just uploading, telling it what I wanted it converted to, and it downloads it back to me.
Okay.
What codec was not an option that I saw. But
Windows. Are you using Windows or Linux?
on my Chrome,
No. Can you use a Windows PC or
yeah.
Windows?
Yeah,
So
I've got a Windows and I got a Mac.
a Mac. Okay.
Windows would probably be easier. Slower, but easier.
So what is that? Macs have built into them a video editing software, a video editing suite. I don't remember what it's called. And if it's current, it's probably doing it in a codec that you would understand, or that it would understand.
Oh, okay.
But the same file works in a micro SD, but doesn't work in a pen drive. The same file.
Neither one will play.
I need one. Okay.
Yeah, neither one. That's why I've been trying both just to see if it was being picky. And I was using a Chromebook just because I had it out and it was easy. And my Windows machine has like a 1.1 processor, so it's painfully slow.
Okay, so your Mac uses a program called iMovie, and iMovie creates media in the H264 format. So
Okay.
I would try that. If that doesn't work, then I don't know what it's looking for. It's looking for something special that
Yeah, there's only a couple of options there. I'll give those a try and see what comes around.
yeah, that H264 format's pretty common, pretty popular. So I would think that that's what it's using, but maybe it wants all the I've got an MP3 player, an old MP3 player that will not recognize any file unless it's in the root directory. So maybe it doesn't want it in a directory, it wants the file in the root.
Okay.
Yeah, some of that stuff's kind of weird. I mean, it's not really a computer, but it's not really not a computer.
Yeah.
If you have a
And one of
file
the
that
chat
does
times, Rick,
play,
guy was just saying, I've had so much trouble with it. He goes, I just went out and bought a Raspberry Pi and run it through that.
if you have a file that does play and a file that doesn't play, you can put them both in VLC and get a lot of information about what sort of file they are.
Okay.
VLC is an amazing piece of software.
Do that too. Yep. Yep.
And VLC will play them both.
How new is this projector? I mean,
Oh, I just bought it.
so is there a date on it somewhere that,
I
I mean, I would say within the last 5 years, H265 is, or 264 is the way to go, but
I think this came out about 2 years ago.
In that case, it may only want to play MP4 files
Oh, okay.
or WebM.
could be a WebM. But his instructions say there's a whole host of formats that it recognizes, but it's not recognizing the codec, I don't think.
Yeah. Now, when I captured the videos off of YouTube, it saved them as WebM, but WebM isn't one that's supported.
Yeah,
on the
so you
projector.
need to convert that to something that probably MP4.
Yeah, that's the first one I tried was an MP4, and it was a no-go. Then I tried AVI and a no-go.
Yeah.
So
Really?
I'll try different software.
Yeah. It's the only thing.
Handbrake.
Do what?
Handbrake may be your friend. Handbrake will convert anything to anything.
Anything that,
Oh, okay.
that's the only thing I could think of that why it's not working now is even though it recognizes the form, the carrier format, it doesn't recognize the codec.
Oh, okay.
But I've seen
All right.
strange stuff.
Yeah, I got something to do this evening then.
I saw, I had an old DVD player that would play files like that, and it wanted the old DivX format. That was all it recognized was the old DivX format.
Hmm.
It was pretty awesome, at least for the time.
For
But-
about 2.5 years.
Yeah, well, DivX was a pretty, I mean, it compressed stuff pretty far down and still gave you decent frames and everything, so. But that's all it wanted was DivX. All right, Vicente's got stuff to show us.
What to do with this small ESP32 camera? Let me see. No focus at all. Let me show you a video of what I was doing. I was working in the software of this camera to identify 4 colors, and my problem was to do it fast enough to use a robot, to use the camera in a robot to follow colors or balls or whatever. And I finally can identify colors 25 times per second. Let me show the video. The camera is sending the size and position of each color. So this is a demonstration of the speed of detecting the position of the colors.
Oh,
Okay. So
that's pretty quick.
yeah.
Vicente's a mad genius.
Okay. I was working directly with the digital image, removing the noise, converting each pixel to the color space, identifying the color, and sending the color to the computer to show the squares in the screen of the computer. But then I have an idea of doing this with the camera. 1 second. You can see this. This is
Yes.
a robot toy with a remote control. And my plan is to put the camera in the top of the track and identify the position of the robot
Oh,
and control the robot to move around the track.
oh, wow.
Everything done with the camera, just moving the control buttons, okay? So I made another video. Let me show you another video.
I was in, they turned into a graphics guy on us.
1 second. This is a video. Can you see? Okay. Second. I'm looking for the video. Okay, this is the okay. This is the robot. I bought it for $16 in Amazon. The robot in the floor. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
camera. I turn the camera outside of the desk, pointing down to see the robot position, and you can see in the computer the square and the location of the robot in this tiny screen. Can you see?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's play the video. Okay, this is the robot in the screen, the position, and I am moving the robot with the remote control. You see? So the idea is to hack the remote control with the ESP32 and use the camera to move the robot. So the camera can see where the robot is and can decide where to go with moving the buttons. That's the idea I am working on. Okay.
So you're going to have like the floor plan, the
Mhm.
track plan
So-
in the camera too, or?
Well, maybe I use a white banner or vinyl mat, or maybe I take a picture with the camera, identify the borders, and move
Okay.
move the robot in the image of the camera that I previously take, and that coincides with the real one in the floor. Let me show this. This thing. One second. I will show my setting. So sorry for the this is the computer.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
is the colors.
Yeah.
Here is the camera.
Yeah.
Let me move this out of this here. Okay. I bought a ring lamp to project light around the camera and have a very nice surface. Okay. So let me put this here. Okay. This is I can put colors in front of the camera.
Okay.
Yellow and red.
Okay.
See, they appear in the if I move from the green. You see,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I move the yellow.
So you could actually
Move
build
the yellow, the red.
you could build like a black track with yellow lines.
Well, I can yes use a color for tracks and a color for the robot.
Yeah.
Also, I am planning to use 2 colors for the robot.
Exactly, so you can tell which direction it's pointed.
Yes, to know where the robot is pointing. You see, for example, this, and you see in the computer,
Mm-hmm.
if I rotate, they change direction in the computer. You see?
Great, so now you can, you got a little compass there and you can determine.
I am planning to use another robot that is smaller and better, I think. Let me see. Okay, this. I am planning to use.
Excuse me.
This is the
Aha, the little
Buzz
Hot Wheels
Lightyear.
truck.
Yeah. This thing is very good because it can rotate in the same position. It moves around in the position, and you can move it very slow in any direction. The idea is to make something like this. You see?
Yeah,
And identify where it is all the time. See? And that's it. Is it? Okay.
cool.
I was working with different cameras with different lengths. This one is 66 degrees, 66. But there are 120, 140, 160 degrees cameras to cover more space, more area. But it's the same that use a camera with 66 degrees and put the camera higher and higher. You have the same effect than to have the camera close and with a very wide angle. So, and the cameras, the fish eye cameras, distort the borders a little bit. So I like the standard camera better for this application. But you can see, I am playing with all kind of stuff, you know, colors.
All kinds of colors.
Yeah. You see this blue thing?
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you. You see the blue
Yeah.
in the screen?
Oh, it's tiny.
It's tiny, you see?
Wow.
I'm trying to show both simultaneously.
Thinks your
My
finger is
my
red.
finger is red. Yeah.
Your finger is red.
So this is
Does it show if you put two blue things in there, will it show two blue boxes?
no.
No.
I am not detecting separate blobs. I'm working on that. My idea is to throw a bunch of M&Ms candies and calculate how many of each color are in the image. I already designed the algorithm. I know how to do it, but I will spend a lot of time implementing it. It's a lot of mathematical computation,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just playing with that. And here I have the more colors to play with.
Very, very cool.
I order several cameras, additional cameras. There is one that is autofocus. So it changes the focus automatically to keep the image clear, crispy. I don't know how it will work. My problem is how to hack this control, because these are proportional control. They are not buttons. They are, I think, potentiometers. So maybe I use servos to move them, or I go inside to try to use digital potentiometers instead of the levels.
Yeah.
So
That controller is definitely paired with
yeah,
that truck.
you need to pair with the truck.
Yeah.
You
I
have to-
was able to find that out.
You have to open this on, and then you press the button for pairing.
Yeah.
Now it's pairing.
It makes me I don't think it is, but it makes me feel like it's like Bluetooth or something.
2.4.
Whee!
The idea is use it. To turn around, move one wheel in one direction and the other wheel in the other direction. So it moves like a turtle, you know?
Yep, like a differential drive robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically that car is a little teeny tiny robot that has a remote control.
Yeah. I found
Wake up,
this,
Steve.
I found this car in Amazon for $9 in offer. I bought it, and an hour later they changed the price to 20 something.
Yeah. You probably should have got a couple of them for $10 a piece. That was a good deal. That was a good deal for those cars.
So where'd you get them?
In Amazon.
Oh,
They cost 20, $25 or so.
Yeah. I've got the Batmobile. Never taken it out of the box. Woohoo. So
In RC at that scale?
yeah,
Scale,
yeah.
164 scale.
It doesn't have steering. It's
Yeah.
differential drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so it's got 4 individual motors, 1 on each wheel.
Yeah.
no, it's only 2.
Two
I
motors.
Only
think.
2?
I think
Two
so.
two motors in the back wheels.
Yeah, yeah. I think it only has the 2 drive motors are it, and the 2 front wheels are like caster wheels that
Yeah.
don't move, or fixed
Mhm.
wheels that don't move.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like tank steering, sort of.
So
But since I've never taken mine out of the box, and I don't plan on taking mine out of the box, I will never find that out.
I bought another one, but it's a Cybertruck from Tesla.
Yeah.
In eBay for $70. I don't know where I have.
You got too much stuff, Vicente.
Yeah. Oh, I know where is it. It's too far.
I should talk about how much stuff. I got too much stuff.
I am thinking to bring to life the hoverboard robot. I was cleaning the basement and I found all the parts of the hoverboard robot. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll be back on it.
I
I will try the all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And I will try the hack of the hoverboard original board. There is a hack to change the firmware of the board to control the motor serial or analog or PWM or joysticks or whatever. You can choose what you want to control the motor. And
So how big is this hoverboard?
It's a standard hoverboard. I just removed the control board of the hoverboard, and there is a hack in the internet. Some guys find out a way to change the software of the controller to move the motors with different techniques.
I think I saw that. Yeah, but you need a certain controller board for the hack to work, right? It won't work on all the controller boards, only certain ones.
Yes, but both I have are the
right
same.
ones.
Yeah, the right ones.
Okay, Jim. Jim's holding up the 1 minute mark.
So maybe I show next week the hack.
Cool.
Working.
Cool, great.
So
Okay.
So next week, are we remote or not?
in person, Jim,
In person next week, yeah.
I think we're planning in person unless something happens between now and then.
But we have the room for next week.
Yes.
So
Oh, I thought this was because of babysitting.
yes,
Yeah.
but anything could happen, right?
So
All right.
Your grandkid is governing all the meeting.
Yeah, she's being good. I haven't heard her. So I will
Bye.
see everybody next week.
Bye-bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Take
Bye.
care. Take care. Have a good week.
You too.
You too. Bye.
I clicked it. It didn't.